Hello again, everybody. Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader at TechTrader.com. It's Tuesday, and May the 6th. Difficult day in Wall Street. Markets opened lower, went down all day, and closed at the lows, and not a good sign, that is for sure. But we had some interesting stocks, both long and short today. I'm going to go over some longs and shorts, and first the long side. Stock that I've watched but I haven't talked much about is CRK Holdings, which popped today $1.84, 4% in the lousy market. Something to watch. 2.1 million traded. It broke out of this coil last week, and today it popped and may extend towards the $50 range short term. Looks pretty strong in terms of relative strength. Up next is BIOF, which, despite the fact it was down 27 cents or 3.5%, still maintains this coil or wedge pattern. And if it can hold it without breaking down, I'm looking for a sharply higher move. The problem is, after 5 waves up, we got to be careful, cautious in here. Once we get a move and thrusts above 840 or so, that's $1 from here, we can see that really run. Watch for that, and also watch for the downside under 690. Comstock Resources, among some of this very strong junior oils, take a look at the pattern that this developed. Beautiful base, broke out and flagged, held the moving averages, broke out again, and it's been running up nicely. Now, in the last week or so, couple weeks, it's been back and filled in here, forming some kind of flag. Today was an exceptional up volume day. 3.3 million traded, up 79 cents at 3%. But it looks to me like maybe headed towards 34.5, 35. That's a swing trade potential, especially if it pops up and through 28 3/4. Watch that. DXM. Now the base that's been building on this, very nice one. And today it popped $1.75. We traded this one nicely today, up 23% nearly, 2.8 million, second biggest volume all year. I'm looking to see if it can get through this resistance zone just ahead. First, let's see if we can get out through the 990-10 zone, and then we could potentially pop in towards the 12.5 area. EMES has been rocking, making new multi-year all-time highs. Just drawing a parallel channel off of here. Perhaps we can see the stock make it into the mid-90s. That's what I'm looking at coming up, maybe even high 90s. Very, very strong chart. Up 578, 7.3% today on the best volume in about 4 weeks. GSAT, small, little low-priced telecom. What a nice pop here in September last year, which triggered this entire move. It subsequently has tripled. It looks to me like it can go up towards the 330 area next, tagging the top of this channel, but at some point we may see it accelerate towards 4. ISR holding very nicely today. It had a nice 10.3 million share trade and moved up 8%. It was up at one point double what it did, but you can see that the declining tops line here, perhaps toward the advance. However, the pop last week and then the 3-day coil was broken today with the increasing volume. I want to see if we can get up through today's high above 282. We could really get going. There is resistance at the spike high at 377, and so 282 and 375 there about our targets. After that, we're looking at 5. InterMune stock's been acting very well of late, particularly the last 3 weeks where it's been moving up steadily. After the rollover here that spiked down below and back above or to the 50, it then has moved up. The double top around the 38.25 area is the key resistance. We get up to that, I wouldn't be surprised to see mid-40s, high 40s, etc. Low-priced MPET for you low-price fans is junior oil's been acting great. Looking at the weekly, you see the long base pattern. Multiple tops here were taken out. Really long-term pattern shows a high back in 2011, up around 345, which would be my next test. Perhaps even the 05 high, up around 415. PBR, Petrobras has been really acting well. After the run-up in March and early April, it then formed a beautiful coil, got very quiet, and then popped out, retested, and run up. Today up 74 cents, that's 5%, but 40 million traded. The biggest volume in about 4 or 5 weeks. So let's see if this can extend. If it gets through this zone, I'm looking for 18. And lastly, on the long side is Radnet, which continues its trend, and a beautiful one without being interrupted too much. While the market pulls back, that stock consolidated. Today it popped As high as 568, closed 539, up 33 cents or 6.5%, and 1,000,005 traded nearly the best volume, as I said, in 4 or 5 weeks. Looking for some more upside and extension, but the angle of ascent is so strong at this point, it may be a little overdone. Keep an eye on this one, strong momentum, could reverse at any point, but I'm looking for 6.5. And moving on now is to the short side would be the box of shorts list, and starting off with BBSI. Now you can see that this stock, which has been on a box of shorts list for a while, rolled over here, little flag, little flag, little flag, and then another rollover. Today dropping 234. That's almost a 5% drop. Very low volume. The stock is awfully quiet in here, but going down. And the key is that this line representing this double bottom and this recent low broken. Which leads me to believe the possibilities are we're going to see around the $40 level. CAMP. Very negative pattern, broke key support here, rallied back to it, failed, and rolled over hard. Little try at a bounce, and another rollover down 4% today on a million. You can see the technicals are barely bouncing off the bottom. I think this one gets down towards the 14.5, 15 zone short term. Dexcom, another long-term trend, broken, retested. You can see the declining tops line. Channel is in force. We did get to my target at 28 the other day, and then bounced back before rolling over again, and then down to $1.99 today. And looks to me like this has more to go, maybe testing 26 3/4, 27. ETHT broke the trend, rolled over after forming a coil in here, and took out support near here. Down to the next support level, barely bounced, and is down again, 212 today, or 5 3/4%. This one may have some room to run down towards 30. ESI continues on my box of short list. Not liking the way this looks. The technicals are barely bouncing off the lows, and you can see the falling wedge. Now that could result in a snapback, but until it does, I'm going to assume that the worst case scenario is that this stock is in a mode where it wants to go sharply lower, perhaps all the way down there, to reach down towards 20, the next target. HMIN, very negative looking Chinese hotelier, broke the trend line, the rising bear wedge near the moving averages, rolled over hard, and then a 1, 2, 3 wave corrected bear wedge or bear flag, that rolled over too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, still in the 5th wave, looking for 25, 6 before it's over. And HTHT, also similar, head and shoulders top, bear wedge, and breakdown. Looking for more downside to test 20, perhaps 18. MDSO collapsed a couple weeks ago. Here, with a big breakaway gap to the downside after a long, long uptrend. And you can see how it's hanging on. It snapped back to resistance at the gap, failed and rolled over hard, bounced off the bottom of the channel, still in downside mode, and may very well test 30 short term. NSM finally broke key support that held it for about almost 2 months now, and today it dropped $1.17 or almost 4%. As volume was solid on the downside. You can see the break of not only that line, but that line. I think we're going to get a retest of the lows down here about 25. Pandora getting absolutely crushed from the 40 high down to a 21.5 low recently. Bounced back to the gap. Today rolled over 221 or 9%. This stock's in trouble. If it doesn't hold this recent low near 21.5, we could see 18. That's what I'm looking for. SPLK, big reversal at 105. The stock's dropped to 51 3/4, down another $3 today, and yet I'm not seeing a bottom yet. I don't know about you. I think the stock could be 40, 42 before it's over. And lastly is Wage, similar to Splunk, reversing hard and coming down in a very steep channel. Today dropping another 274 or 6.4%. You can see some support beneath here at the gap around the 37 range. That's my target. If we get through that, we could see mid-30s, maybe 30 itself. Pretty ugly stuff on the short side and some interesting stuff on the long side. That's it for tonight. I'll talk to you tomorrow.